A slow breath slipped past my lips as steady hands helped me upward, the movement effortless, sure the space around me shifted before my back met something softer, a change I barely had time to register. Abed the room was keep the air carrying something unspoken. A voice broke the silence, smooth yet unreadable. A pause followed, heavy with the weight of the moment, and then everything changed. Music. Before we jump in, please do me a quick favor, like this video and hit subscribe. It's fast, easy, and makes a huge difference. Plus, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Now let's get started. My body was warm, restless, with an energy I couldn't ignore. My fingers trailed over the thin fabric of my robe, teasing, slow, enjoying the quiet indulgence. It wasn't enough. I wanted more. The house was silent, no one to hear, no one to interrupt. Buzzed the vibration of my phone against the nightstand jolted me. I sighed, reaching for it. Ridido, ignore whatever late night notification had ruined the moment until he saw the name on the screen. My son-in-law, we're nearby. Mind if we stop, eat for a drink? Not just him, them. I sat up, pulse still and steady, rereading the massage message. I wasn't expecting company, certainly not them. It was late, he wasn't dressed for guests, and I wasn't in the mood for small talk. I started to hear it, but another message flashed across the screen. Come on, don't babbering, we won't stay long. I exhaled, slow, boring. He always said that he knew exactly how to get under my skin. Fine, all right, but just one drink, 15 minutes. Later, I stood in the kitchen, wine glass in hand. When the knock came, the moment I opened the door, I felt that something was different. My son-in-law's smirked, eyes flicking over me in a way I couldn't ignore. His friend stood just behind him, watching their presence heavier than it should have been, and when they stepped inside to confident and comfortable, I knew this wasn't just a casual visit. I should have told them to leave, but I didn't. I shut the door behind them, and the night began. I placed the wine bottle unfeedable, my fingers curling against the glass. Their voices hummed around me. Booty wasn't really listening. The air felt charged, heavier than before, not just from the heat, but from them. I poured mid-drink, first slow to liberate. My son-in-law stretched back into the couch, his movement easy, relaxed, like he had all the time in the world. His friends, though they were watching me, didn't think you'd actually say yes. My son-in-law mused, swirling themer liquid in his glass. Figured you'd tell us to go find somewhere else to drink. I scoffed, lifting my glass. He almost did. One of his friends leaned, sharp eyes tilted his head. So why didn't you limit his gaze over the rim of my glass? But I didn't answer. A quiet smirk played at his lips before he leaned back and concerned. Another one, broader, quieter, tilted his drink toward me, his eyes steady. You always this quiet? I exhaled softly. Depends on the company. A grin. And what kind of company are we? I should have laughed, brushed it off, but I didn't. A hand brushed mine when I passed the bottle across the table. The touch should have been fleeting, but it was. Neither of us moved away. A second stretched too long before I finally peeled back. Relax, my son-in-law murmured, voix dipping lower. We're just having a drink. His fingers tapped against the rim of his glass, slow, deliberate. The ice had already cracked, and there was no stopping what came next. The wine had settled in my veins, but that wasn't the only thing warming. It was them, the way they sat around me, their presence undeniable now, the way their attention never drifted, each glance heavier than before. I ran a slow fingertip over the rim of my glass, knit for them, but for myself, just to feel something under my touch, a chuckle or quiet. The man beside me murmured, voix low enough that only I could hear. He tilted my head, a small smirk teasing at my lips, observant. Aren't you? He held my gaze. Didn't expect that from someone who invited us in this late. I let my eyes flick between them, feeling the weight off their attention. I didn't shrink from ID. Let them look. Maybe you don't know what to expect from me. A hum of approval from across the room. I think we're starting to. The bottle shifted across the table. A hand reached for it as he poured. His fingers skimmed the inside of my thigh. Not by accident. I could have ignored it, could have shifted away. Broken the moment before it went further. I didn't. Instead, I parted my legs just enough for him to notice. His breath hitched, not much, but I caught it. The corner of his lips curled slow, and knowing she likes a little trouble, someone murmured it wasn't a tease, it was a fact. His hand slid higher, fingers teasing just beneath hem of my robe. My pulse jumped, but I didn't stop him. I leaned in, and then his lips brushed against mine just once, just enough to feel the warmth of him, the taste of wine lingering between us. It tilted my chin up, parting my lips slightly, an invitation, and then their restraint shattered. The kiss deep in nitrogen and unrestrained. His hand tightened against me, that as my breath hitched, my fingers scrolled into the fabric of his shirt, pulling him closer, letting him take we'd wanted. A presence shifted beside me. I felt the weight of another gaze, the weight there thickened around us. I knew we weren't alone, and I liked it. The warmth of his kiss still tingled in my lips, a quiet hum beneath my skin, but before I could catch my breath, another presence moved in closer, more deliberate. A slow and inhale escaped me. Lips brushed the curve of My neck lingering, testing each breath sent the faintest shiver along my spine, a whisper of warmth and anticipation curling through me. Hands strong shirt trailed along my sides, their touch weightless yet intentional, a feather press off fingertips track the dip of my waist, azile exploration that left my stomach tightening. In response, a soft exhale parted my lips, my body acutely aware of feverish shift, every movement surrounding another touch, this time lower. The faintest graze against my thigh, the gesture was unhurried, testing the space between us, lingering just enough to leave a question in its wake. The answer was already clear. A low murmur stirred air near my ear. The voice, laced with quiet amusement, told you she'd love this. He didn't need to speak. My body had already answered. My breath came quicker as I leaned into them, drawn by fluid of their presence, the way their hands wandered, each touch unhurried yet deliberate. A slow path of lips trailed over my shoulder, following the curve of me collar bone. A teasing scrape of teeth sent a ripple through me, a sensation that deepened as fingertips followed it, leaving behind a map of warmth and quiet tension between the blur of movement and the press of bodies. My fingers sought him, one of them. I wasn't even sure who anymore, but I felt the sharp inhale beneath my palm, the way his muscles tensed under my touch, and just like that, something shifted. No hesitation, no second guessing. I was surrounded, enveloped in a space where instinct took over, where every glance exchanged between them carried an unspoken agreement. Their hands explored, memorizing, learning the moment, unraveled, slow, seamless, and immersive, leaving nothing but sensation. A shift. 1 second I was against the couch, the next steady hands guided me upward. My body followed without thought, the movement effortless, and heard a softer surface met my back before I even registered the change. A bed, a quiet breath slipped past my lips, me pulse strumming beneath my skin, but before I could even take another breath, they were with me again, and this time the moment had no barriers left to hold it back. The bed barely had time to settle beneath me before warmth surrounded me, drawing me deeper into the moment. Lips met mine and hurried, at first then growing more certain. A silent conversation carried in every movement, the gentle pressure of fingers traced along my robe, piecing the fabric aside with measured intent. A slow shiver coursed through me as the material slipped away, gliding over my skin before it rested somewhere unseen. The shift in sensation made my breath catch, anticipation threading through every inch of me. I exhaled softly, letting my head sink back as a quiet murmur brushed against my ear, low, smooth, threaded with something undeniable, even better than imagined. A warmth stirred deep inside me. Hands explored unhurried yet deliberate, mapping the contours of my form with careful reverence. My fingers scrolled into the sheets as their touch deepened the movements, seamless as if they had always known me this way. The steady press of hands against my waist anchored me, grounding me in the rising intensity between us. A slow inhale, a breath released in measured control, and then a heat spread through me, deliberate and encompassing, settling into my very core, making my senses sharpen, my awareness heightened. The rhythm of their touch shifted, measured yet certain, every movement flowing effortlessly into the next, drawing me into a connection that felt both new and familiar. All at once, lips found mine again, capturing the quiet sounds that slipped between us. A firm hand tilted my chin, a thumb grazing along my bottom lip, an unspoken invitation waiting for a response. I answered without hesitation, deepening connection, allowing the warmth to build between us. Fingers combed through me hair, drawing me closer, breaths mingling in the space between, the energy between us coalescing into something seamless. Everything felt fluid, instinctive, effortless. A deep inhale left him as he lingered for a moment, letting the weight of the sensation settle before easing away. The warmth still pulsed beneath my skin, my body attuned to every shift. A moment passed, just enough for anticipation to bloom again before I could process it. Another presence took over, their touch different yet equally certain, setting a new rhythm. This time the pace was exploratory, living, appreciating, making every second stretch with intent. A quiet sound left me, my fingers curling against the fabric beneath me as I yielded to the shift, letting them guiding through every new sensation. The bed shifted beneath us, the air thick with warmth, the energy moving between us palpable. A presence leaned in, breath